6. Command Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set. 5500. 3 1.
Should we wait 40 more seconds? I think we'll wait. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you here this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you may be tuning in from. Do apologize for the voice out of the gate. Allergies kicking my butt. I don't know if I've been sick the last week or whatever. I just can't get 100% healthy, but I feel fine. Hopefully my voice will warm up here as we get on the stream. But thank you all for tuning in. Apologize for delaying this. I originally scheduled it for yesterday evening. Had some issues. Then at the request of Boris Audio Works, I postponed it even further into this afternoon. I did receive a DM from him, though, that I got a little bit late. Maybe we'll have to do a second leg, or maybe we'll do an afternoon stream, and I'll have his updated fixes in there. We'll get to that in a minute. But nevertheless, thank you all for being here, sharing a little time out of your day with me on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yes, indeed, we're in the 737 MAX. Man, I didn't think I would be flying a MAX anytime soon, but after seeing Mr. Saturday's video, we saw Mr. Saturday's video with the sound effects, and that was it. I was like, okay, you know what? I need to figure out if I can get a hold of the iFLY team and get a little MAX action. They were kind enough to send this over to me. This is still pre-release. This is still a work in progress. Everything you see and hear here is not or does not necessarily represent the final product. So just get that out of the way first, so you guys are all aware. This is still pre-release, and they're still working on it actively, and we're going to give it a spin today. We're going LA to Phoenix Sky Harbor. I was going to go Phoenix to LA, but because of some issues I've been having, which I'll get into, I decided it'd be easier to go the opposite direction. That way we can do some more hand flying. But we're sitting here at gate 46 Alpha. We're ready to go. Bill's Mafia, good to see you, man. Charlie Romeo's in the house. Lucas Bunkin in the house. Good to see you. Hotshot, what's up, man? Hotshot, Boris Audio Works himself. Good to see you, man. Canadian JJ Stevens, the Macallan is here. Good to see you, good sir. Luke Wallace, Ionis, Donald, Let It, 49 Whiskey, JJ Stevens, Pilot Stav, Jeremy Harvey in the house. Let's see who else we got. Fubar's here. Good to see you. Dynasty 001. Gavin's here. Jasper, Harish. Thank you all for tuning in. Welcome. Many, many more. Appreciate you all tuning in today. Very kind. And I'm super excited to do this stream here. And here we go, guys. This is, I'll just get it out of the way right now. I've been watching some content of this. I watched a little bit of XP72 flying this. I actually caught some of Captain Canada's. He was streaming late last night. I was able to watch some of his. And from the most part, some of the bugs that I've been having, I really haven't seen reproduced for other people. So I think a lot of what I have been dealing with is with some of my hardware, such as the force feedback yoke, and a couple other things, which I have some workarounds. They're not ideal right now, but at least they're known. It probably applies to 1% of the viewers out there. If you just have a regular spring-loaded yoke, you're not going to have any of the same yoke problems that I have. So anyway, we'll cross those bridges when we get there. Let's go ahead and jump into the 7.3 Max. One thing to note is don't go in drone cam when you're started up because your generators pop offline. That's happened to me multiple times. So that's just something to throw out there because I did that on a practice. I was trying to take some screenshots, and as soon as I came back from drone cam, I had dual gen fail and was basically trying to scramble and get everything back up and running. So JJ, you sent me the Southwest livery. Awesome, dude. I appreciate that, man. I tell you what, so there is a known bug. Let's just get this out of the way while we're sitting here too. I got to stop these dynamic window shades. They kind of drive me nuts. I think it's an option in the EFB. So the biggest, I would say, in my opinion, for me, because you guys know I love sounds, one of the biggest draws to this airplane was the flap sounds. Unfortunately, they're bugged right now. However, Boris has sent me a special file to fix that, and JJ sounds like he sent me a Southwest livery. So what we're going to do after this leg, I think we'll fire it up. I'll reset the sim because that's going to require a relaunch of the sim. I'll put in the sound fix, and then we'll try a Southwest hop out of a Southwest. How's that sound? Depending on how everything goes. I do have my MCAS switches bound. Thanks, Christy. I do have them bound and ready to go, so if we do have to do a stab trim cutout, I will send it to you. Awesome. Good deal, man. I appreciate you. That's very cool, man. We'll channel some inner big earn for a second leg today. I think that sounds fun. Yeah, you need premium service. Exactly. Leg 2 Southwest to Santa Ana. Ooh, going into John Wayne, short runway. Flap 40? I think that sounds like a plan. AJ, good to see you, man. Are you going to be able to fly the plane with a yoke? AJ, believe it or not, I've been flying it with my Moza, but I have a workaround to fly it with my yoke right now. I didn't put my TCA Boeing yoke back on because my Bruner is hard mounted to my desk, and it's not worth it for me to unmount that to put the TCA yoke on. What I have to do is basically completely disconnect my Bruner when I want to turn the autopilot on. So I have to disconnect that, and I actually have to unplug my throttles as well because there's no auto throttle lockout or anything, which is slightly frustrating. But we'll get to that in flight. Let's fire this puppy up, shall we? Let's go ahead. This is a beautiful cockpit. You guys have seen it all from now. I mean, there's been plenty of content out, and I'm not going to sit here and show you every little detail, but I will say my first impression of this airplane, and we've seen this a lot with devs coming from P3D or FSX, bringing their airplanes over. We've seen a lot of the developers, in my opinion, not take full advantage of what 2020 has to offer. They kind of, I don't know if poured over is the right term, but you can see here with iFLY, they've really done a good job. They've done their homework, and they've really taken advantage of the visual aspect of this cockpit. I mean, I put it right up there. I actually would say this looks a little bit better than the PMDG in some aspects. I don't know if it's the wear or the colors. It just seems to pop a little bit more to me. So I really enjoy the cockpit. The visuals and the textures are absolutely awesome on this airplane. One leftover stinky thing from P3D or FSX is the switch manipulation. You get used to it. Some switches you click, some you mouse wheel, and I just never know which one it is. So you'll get used to it. I'm sure I'll get used to it. We noticed this a little bit on the FSS airplane as well. But yeah, I wish you could just click them all or mouse wheel them all, but they're kind of hit or miss with that. So Hotshot says set a view in front of the engine for max sound. Will do, Hotshot. I've got this set up right here. Well, we got to stop this nonsense with the window shades. I've got this one right here. Another pro tip, the cabin, fantastic. I know I can do the hack view where I go outside for wing views, and I only do that on airplanes where I feel like the cabin is not sufficient in graphical form. This cabin, you guys have seen it by now, is fantastic. Look at these windows. Like this window frame, this looks like a real shot to me. I mean, that legitimately looks real. The texturing around the window, look how clean the lines are. I mean, this is some of the best interior window view I've seen. I got a little bit of clipping there in the corner. You can see I've kind of, depending on where you set the camera, it clips a little bit. But really, really nicely done around the windows. So love that. Love that. Tinnitus view, exactly. And the LEAP does look good. The fan blades, I mean, they look awesome. They look really, really good. So I like the 777 window. Yeah, 777 is good. Fenix is obviously good. And just the texturing on the walls, like Jeremy is saying. I mean, we haven't even started this airplane, but look at that. I mean, I can scratch that with my fingers. That's what I can hear the sound that texture makes. Because as a kid, I was always like climbing all over the window and stuff. It's the same texture since 1930. Anyway. All right. A-Rat says, in 1 month, this is all going to look insane in 24. I know, dude. Can you imagine this in 2024? This is just going to be even better. So what a time to be a simmer. What a time to be alive. Absolutely love it. All right. Here we go. Can we get this thing started up? Let's go ahead and get this thing started up. So I'm going to click the battery switch, and apparently that closes by itself, I think. I kept trying to close that manually, and I kept toggling the battery. What we're going to do is we're going to go straight to an APU start for maximum juice. So I'm just going to come right down here, and we're going to go right to an APU start at the gate. It's cold airplane. We're going to fire it up and heat it up. We do have the Boris Audio Works, so let's take a listen. Get out of here. Love that igniter. No, Jobo, Boris Audio Works is default on this airplane. Sim sounds up. Coming up, baby. Love it. All right, we should be, there it is. We'll get APU on a bus. That looks good. Let's go ahead and start from the top. Let's go ahead and throw you into nav. That's going to stay off. That looks good. We should have one pump on for the APU, right? You guys always yell at me. Let's go right forward pump for the APU. It's probably wrong, but we'll leave that on. Let's come around here. That looks good. We will arm the emergency exit lights. We're going to put the logo lights on, of course, and we'll put the position in steady. Our cruise altitude is... It's not needed on the max? Good. All right. We will turn that back off. Cruise altitude 350. So while I'm looking at it, I'm going to set 350. Not needed? Cool. We'll turn it off. That way I'll show you the sounds. So I thought it was left too, or left? Not needed. AAL SOP is left. Left forward for APU, current to AA. So let's do that. American SOP, left forward fuel pump is on. Check. We've got that running. Obviously, it can do its same thing with the, well, Airbus, you don't have to turn any pumps on, but it has its own pump. Obviously, it looks like it can gravity feed or has its own type of vacuum pump where it can start without it. I guess this just helps reduce wear on the system of the APU, so probably why it's in their SOP. Or fleet commonality. Who knows? It is a Boeing. Let's continue up the overhead. Let's do off and on. We'll do B's on, A's off. Everything looks good. We'll get our window heats on. Probe heat stay off. Let's juice up the panel a little bit. We'll juice up the circuit breaker lights just in case. I mean, look at that cockpit, dude. That just looks awesome. We'll leave the fasten seatbelt sign off for now. We'll clear the master caution. I'm going to come down here to the EFB. We'll initialize the flight. I'm going to go to the perf page. I'm going to leave that to weight and balance for now. Let's hop down to the MCDU and begin programming this situation here. This, V1, look how similar the overhead is, brand new from 7.3. Oh, Jeremy, I know. It's the same. This is a short flight, so we can, hold on, let me do this first, Jeremy. Pause and knit. We're going to go GPS left, set IRS. Oh, I have fast align on still. That's fine. We just fast align it. That's okay. We'll go to our route page and we'll do a flight plan request. But yes, Jeremy, you know what's interesting? You guys know I love old school round gauge, right? So if I had to pick a 7.3 to fly, I would love like a 7.3-200 or like maybe like the 500 series or 300. However, this airplane, the Max in general, reminds me of, like, have you ever seen like an old school like Beech 18 or like some really old school that prop? There used to be like a radial prop. It's been outfitted with G3000s, PT6, Blackhawk engines, Starlink Wi-Fi. That's how the 7.3 Max just is in my head. It's like Boeing took this airplane that they originally designed in the early 1900s and stuck some G3000s in there, but you can still see its roots, especially on the overhead panel. That's pretty neat. Inuful, thanks for the €2 donation, man. I appreciate you. Does this model simulate the MCrash system? I believe MCAS is modeled. I believe the Runaway is not modeled, but make sure you have your stab trim switches bound just in case. But thanks for the €2 donation, man. Appreciate you. It's so old-fashioned, but got the new tech sticking it out. Exactly, Harish. Exactly. All right, I'm going to hide the yoke here real quick so I can turn these PFD. Oh, I didn't want to do that. There we go. Let's turn this down just a hair, a little contrast, just because the lighting that we're in right now. All right, one other thing to note. Let's go ahead and load up our flight plan. We'll do flight plan load. Performance on this airplane for me. Now, again, you can hit exclamation point specs to see exactly what I'm running. I've heard some people say that this is equivalent to the Fenix currently, or well, I mean, if optimization, or in my opinion, this airplane runs a little bit heavier than what the current Fenix runs. I would place it at like the original Fenix on my system. Now, again, I have AMD, which you guys know how I feel about AMD now, so it might be an AMD problem. It's fine performance-wise, but is it the smoothest on frames? On my rig, not necessarily. It has been, it definitely has an impact on frames. I've even lowered my T-Law down to 250, and I've lowered my the other one to like 150 or something. So everyone's system is different. So if you hit the specs, you can see my spec command, and that'll give you an idea on what I'm running. It's not unplayable by any means. We're sitting on the ground here in LAX, and it's still pretty smooth. What is an issue, and they're aware of, is the low frame rate on the screens. Now, I think there's like a G-Sync fix you can have. I have my NVIDIA panel up and ready to disable G-Sync if we get this problem. But it's almost like you think you're having low frames, but you're not. It's just your PFD that's having low frame rate. So it kind of gives you the illusion that you're having low frames. It's a weird feeling, but I'm just trying to lay it all out there for you, show you guys what I'm dealing with. So, all right, let's finish loading up the box here. We're going to do departure. Let's go ahead and load up LAX. We're going to blast off 250 right today, and our flight plan calls for the SID is the dots 2 to scenery. So we're going dots 2, scenery transition, execute that. Let's go back to the index for Phoenix. We're going to be landing on runway 8 right over Bank 1 Ballpark. Hit the like button if you remember when that stadium was called Bank 1 Ballpark. I did update the nav data, JJ. I did, believe it or not. I updated it before the stream. We're going ILS runway 8. We're going to be coming down the Hydra 1. So let's scroll over to the Hydra 1. And we're going off of the Blythe transition. I think Alice is all the way out. I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to tell you what, let's put Alice, which is all the way out there. We'll execute that. That looks good. Legs page is done. We'll go to route data. Winds. You can do the old school thing where you download it, throw it into a file. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What we are going to do, though, is load it this way, which is kind of it's an interesting way. You can't sync your weights from SimBrief. You have to manually import them. I don't know if this is something that's going to change in the future or not. Is it my favorite way of loading? Not really. SimBrief does work. Yes, I've loaded everything via SimBrief, but to get the weights loaded, you have to load it manually. So as far as I know. I don't know if there's a way to load weights without SimBrief. So I have to look at my passenger number here. We're on PAX. We're going to go total passengers, according to SimBrief, is 153. Cargo today is 8,400 pounds. So we'll split it up. We'll put 4,000 in the forward, and then we'll put, let's just put 4,400 in the aft. 4,400 in the aft. We'll go to the fuel page. Our total fuel today is block fuel 10.9. Let's just call it, let's round up. Let's call it 11,000 pounds of fuel. 11,000 is set. So now what we do, we set MSFS payload, set MSFS fuel, and you're instantly loaded for your flight. You can see here we got 11,000, and we should have our weight set. So we can come over here, we'll do our gross weight. We'll throw that in, we'll execute, we'll take a reserve of 5,000. We're doing cost index 75, not 6. That's going to go in there. Cruise out 2350 is set. Takeoff, we're doing a TO1. Come over here. We will do flaps 5 for juice. Reserve fuel. Let's adjust that. I tell you what, let's take some more fuel. I've never had that before. 11,000. Oh, you know why? Tell you what, let's change. Let's add another couple thousand pounds. Let's go back to the fuel. Let's make this 14,000. And we'll come here. There we go. We got 14,000 pounds on. That looks good. Too much reserve fuel, so that's fine. I wanted to have a little extra reserve because I want maybe we do some pattern work, but that's fine. We've got 14,000. We're still underweight. We're looking good. Let's make sure that doesn't mess with our speeds. We go to the N1 limit. We're doing TO1. No D rates here. Our speeds are still set. CG is 556. That's a good number. Auto loaded. You hear the trim set. So we're at 14,000 pounds of gas. Pre-flight is complete. Now, what you can do, and I haven't really found the point of this, because it automatically loads it in the FMC. But if you want to do your takeoff data, you can go back here. You can go to well, that's complete. Here we go. So now we're going to load this in here. KLAX. I don't. If Boeing were to design an EFB, this is, I'm sure, how it is. It's clunky. So when I say the word clunky, I don't mean it in a negative light that I think iFLY did a clunky job. I just think that if Boeing was to design an EFB, it would be very clunky. And this to me is very clunky. So take that for what it is. TO1 runway, we're going to be 25 right. Init X list. Flap 5. Condition dry. Air conditioning AC is on. Anti-ice is off. Winds are calm. 040. Isn't that how the 78 EFB is? I'm not sure. This reminds me, though, do you guys remember, so for a very brief stint, do you guys, any real-world pilots, remember the Microsoft Surface? Was it the Surfaces? There was a tablet that they tried to throw. This is when I was doing 190 charter stuff. There was a tablet that we had that was very similar to this to get charts on. And it's just, it's like, it was a very, very clunky situation that I disliked very much. And this reminds me of that. I don't think it was the Surface, Steven. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Maybe it was the Surface. It looked similar to this, but it had less buttons. It was some type of chart viewer. It was way before EFBs. There were no tablets. Yeah, there was no tablets then, Pilot Stab. It was something else that we had. I might have some pictures of it somewhere. OAT today, let's call it, well, this is an issue that I find. So 15F, but if I put the actual, it's 75, but if I do that, it says OAT is too high. So it's like it's trying to read Celsius, but it's showing me Fahrenheit. So I'm not sure how to go work around that. So I'm just going to put the OAT, what is it in Celsius? 17C. So I'm going to put 17 here, even though it says Fahrenheit. I'm assuming That's 17 Celsius. Because if I try Tough Book, I think it was the Tough. Was it me? No, I think it was a Tough Book, Mr. Lahaye. Not like, I know Southwest had a manual Tough Book, but we had like some mounted. It was just, it sucked. QNH will do the magic barrel ref key of 3005. 3005. That goes, backspace, 3005. That looks good. And calculate. There's our speeds. And I'm assuming you could then send that to the McDo, right? So I guess that would be the point of it. If you didn't want to do it through the FMC, you would do this and then send it to the FMC. But it's kind of redundant. Let's see if they match up. 38, 39, 50. Oh, they're actually off. I'm going to go with what the airplanes tell me here. I'm going to go 34, 36, 47. Seems a little bit more conservative. So it might have to do with the temp. Yeah, Gustavo, it'll take 17. It'll take, no matter what I put in there, it just says F. If I change the units back, it's what it is, Gustavo, it's bugged because I have it where temperature should always be Celsius, but it's showing F. I think it's just an indicating error. I think this is actually reading Celsius. It's just indicating Fahrenheit, because if I try to put the Fahrenheit temperature, it says it's too high. Type C? Oh, I guess you could type C. Okay, well, that's dumb. Well, then what's the point of the F? All right, anyway, there you go. Either way, we've got the speeds in the box that look good. With that said, let's go to terminal charts. Let's look this up. LAX. Search ident, Los Angeles. Destination, Sky Harbor. Boom, boom. There we go. Now, I haven't messed with these yet, so I'm not even... Oh, okay, so it is... That's good. Okay, so my initial install, this wasn't working, but it's working now, so that's good. Cool. It was just a bug on my part. This is so similar to what we used to use. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Yeah, it pulls the Navigraph charts. It does work. I had to do a reinstall. My first install, for some reason, that was bugged. But, like, I think something got locked up between trying to sync, but now it's working fine. So that's cool. So that's up there. We got our LAX charts. We're ready to get the fuel pumps on. Fuel pumps are coming on. A's on. B's are off. We're all boarded up. We'll go fast and seatbelts on. Take a listen to the fuel pumps back here. I think I missed a hot shot. Startup packs and pumps loudest are over wing. So, like in this spot, a hot shot. So for startup, I thought you said you wanted us to be in front of the window. I think we'll be in front of the window. I got to figure out where the dynamic window shade setting is. Hold on, let's come back to that. I think that is dependent on livery, right? Because I know I changed it. Panel style, general, independent nose wheel steering, yes. Next page, nope, page up. It saves per livery. Okay, Mr. Saturday, thank you. So I need to find sunblinds. No, we don't want sunblind. We have sunblinds right here, which are cool. We like those. What we need to find is the PFD nav. Other systems? Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, thank you. Let's go back. Miscellaneous page. Here we go. Auto set fuel pumps, no, no. Cabin sun visors, open. Thank you, thank you. Oh no, the miscellaneous. Yeah, so that's per livery. Per livery, which is kind of neat, I guess. All right, that is set up. Let's go back to our main airport map situation. Well, what's this? That's not what I was... Go back to terminal charts, Navigraph. There we go. All right. Let's get out of here. Altitude. I am pleased to report that the altitude bugs, everything works perfectly with the Bravo. So I can set everything with the LVARs and everything. 340. I love that. Heading works, altitude works, speed works, vertical speed works, all natively in the sim. That's fantastic. I'm going to set, what do we have for V2 plus 10? 157. And then we'll bug up. Brunner does not work with a diabetic lad. 157. Alright. A-route, I'm actually not sure. I think it's a Boeing design. Did I not save it? I might have not saved it. Okay. Let's go flight directors on. You have to flick those with your mouse wheel. Will be LNAV, VNAV off the ground. That looks good. And let's make sure our radio is on 22. It's got to be CTAF. What is the CTAF here? Dot CTAF, KLAX. Nope, that didn't work. Dot CTAF. Dot CTAF LAX. There we go. KLAX. I needed the K. 120905. 120905. We'll put that in primary 1. 120905 is set. Speeds are set. 2095. Let's do a radio check. LA traffic. American 357 will be pushing back off gate 46. LA traffic. All right, you guys ready? Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, we never turned the packs on. You guys, we never turned the bleed on. We're in here sweating. There you go. There's your air conditioning sounds. We're in here sweating with no air. All right, anti-collision's coming on. Let's call for push. That's a cool shot right there. Got a southwest off our left. Love it. Startup over wing, takeoff front cabin. Make sure he sees this. Okay, startup over wing. So no more in front of wing. Okay, we will start up. Hotshot says we'll start up over wing. I was really looking forward to starting up right here. I wanted to see the... I'll tell you what, we'll motor here and then I'll move to the over wing. All right, let's go. All right, let's go to our Throttletek camera today. We've got our 737 MAX Quadrant, brought to you by Throttletek. Absolutely love this Quadrant. Pinned at the top if you guys want to check it out. And also, I got to give a huge shout out to iFLY on this because this drove me nuts with the PMDG. The start lever switches here are native LVARs in the sim. You do not have to run SPAD. You do not have to run anything to get these to work. So I got to say, iFLY is killing it with the native LVARs and bindings in the sim. I haven't run into anything yet. You guys know I have a lot of hardware. I got tillers, I got panels, I got throttle quadrants, and they are all natively bindable in the sim. So that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Do the wing views need to be binded? Jaffo, I always make my own.
Good morning, Captain. Where were you earlier this morning when LAX had a quarter-mile visibility and 200-foot ceiling? Lol. It's actually been that way for several mornings and evenings now.
Callie Simmer,
latte.
thank you
Happy
so
Friday.
much for the $10 bank angle check. Yes, absolutely would have loved to be here at low time. I actually wound the sim time back for that, but I would have loved to be able to stream early on. You know, I can't get up that early. You guys are, I got to get up super early, drive to the office, but yes, it's perfect pumpkin spice latte weather. Absolutely. Unlike Texas where it's 100 degrees. But thank you so much, Callie Simmer, for the $10 bank angle check. All right, you guys ready to push and start? I'm going to release the brakes, so I'm going to do my actual brake release lever like that. And I'm going to hold the brakes. I'm going to do Shift P for pushback because GSX is dead to me. Park light is out. And we'll go ahead and kill the packs now that everybody is... Now that everybody is nice and cool. And we'll stand by to start.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
JJ Stevens.
Can you show the key binding for the fuel cutoffs, please?
Yes. Let's do that right now before we get in pushback, shall we? That's an important one. I think a lot of you are going to want to know what those are because I've hunted for those many a time. So let me see what it's bound to because I don't even know. It worked when I loaded up, which was awesome. So I'm going to search by input. When I hit it, That's not, that's the Quadrant. That's the wrong one. Excuse me. We need to go to the Throttletek. All right, search by input. Set engine 1 fuel valve. That's what it is. Set engine 1 fuel valve if you want to bind those levers. Set engine 1 fuel valve. I have that. Those fuel valve levers have plagued me since FS9. Trying to have proper fuel valve levers. So absolute, I mean, that alone makes this airplane worth it. I just want to have bindable fuel levers without having to use SPAD. All right, since we are using a native Shift P pushback, we're just going to stop straight back here, tail in the alley. And then we're going to set the brake and start so we can focus on the startup sounds. All right, Shift P, we'll stop the push there. And for setting the brakes, I have it realistic, so you have to fully depress the brake pedal and then put the brake lever on, which I have the actual button. Can you guys see that? I don't know if you can see it down there, but it is it's an actual lever on my Throttletek down here. So if you don't press the brake pedals, it won't set. All right, let's go ahead and ground 2. We got bleed pressure. Here we go. We're going to motor from the front. Shh. Now he says to go over the wing for start. We're going to listen to what Boris said to do.
Session off of your craft at Los Angeles Tower now online.
All right, that's pretty dang good, Boris. Ooh. Are you kidding me? That little ooh. Love it. All right, let's go ahead and let's crank 1. Tower's online. Let's go ahead and get them both started up here. Cannon, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Dude, I was watching you last night. You were streaming late last night, man. Had a nice landing going into Boston, that crosswind. That Boston arrival always seems like it takes forever. I don't know why. Motor from the front. Motoring from the front. Should I introduce fuel from the outside? Okay, watch your ears. Watch your ears. We're going to do fuel from the outside. Oh, no, I can't because I'll lose both generators. I can't do that. Can't do it. I'll lose both gens. Here we go. Fuel on. Wait for it. Ooh. Dust Ninja, let's see. I'll go insert. Now watch. Come into the cockpit view. There we go, both gens. Well, I just went off gen, so I gotta go Gen 1, Gen 2. I'll have engine fail. Hopefully I can get my engines back. Whenever I go to in drone cam and back in, I lose generators. So that's a bug. I got to call 8 cars, ATC. We got a clearance. Let me make sure everything is started up here, y'all. So everybody blame who saboteured us there. Dust Ninja. He is a ninja. Everyone get the saboteur emoji for Dust Ninja. I told you that would happen. Dual engine fail. We're coming back online. We'll get the yaw damper up. Let's go that. Oh, I did the wrong order. We got a dual bleed. Auto, auto, auto. That looks good. That should go away. We're on bus. These go to Cont. Flaps 5. So right here we're missing the flap sound. So I'm going to import the fix that Boris has for us on the second leg, the second stream. GMC, thanks for the one gifted sub, man. I appreciate you, dude. I'm going to turn the sim sounds down just a little bit here. We got a call for clearance here. Let's get some juice in here. A little bit dark. All right, 2 good starts. Flaps 5. Let's do a takeoff config check. There's the horn. FADEC is way too fast. I can tell you that just from seeing guys do that in real life. You should be able to do that without the N1 spinning up. That's just something that I've noticed from jump seating. All right, let's call this guy up on 2095. He's on 1. Let's give him a holler. And we have our clearance. So let's just go ahead and put the squawk code in right now of 1322. We're in TARA. That's in above. We're on 1, and we're on. Everything looks good. LA Tower, good morning. American 357, just off 46 Alpha. We're squawking 1322, ready to taxi with information Alpha. I made that up. Information Echo. 5,000 on the initial. Let's see. So I guess we got to turn this on. And we are, we're TARA.
American 357, runway 25 right, taxi via Bravo.
25 right via Bravo, American 357. All right, we got to set 5,000 here real quick.
LAX Tower, you're Bluestone 1 forward, for taxi.
5,000 on the initial altitude.
714, runway 25 right, fall behind the American.
Brakes released.
25 right behind the American, you're Bluestone 1 forward.
Taxi light. APU's coming off. Let's go. Zippy says, are you still doing mugs? I smashed mine this morning. Oh no, Zippy, were you that angry? Why were you so angry, my man? Yeah, I think they're still for sale. I gotta revamp that whole shop for sure, man. Alright, we are out. Now, you can't really see it, but this is a silky smooth livery. And there's some mismatched cone nose here. Absolutely love it. So shout out to Silky Smooth. This is his AA livery that will obviously be coming out when this airplane's released. This is not the default American one. This is his. A little bit weathered on the texturing, but super sharp. I love having the little mismatches there like that. Nope, I'm not using Atmos. This is straight up default. All right, brake check, pressure 0. We're good. I'm going to put terrain on ND just because we're taking off IMC. 5,000 is set. We're LNAV, VNAV. We'll get the auto throttle when we are short of the runway. We're squawking mode Charlie. I think we're ready to go, chat. All right. Ooh, 500.
Touchdown greater than 6,000. RNAV to Docker, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
So RVR rollout is 500. That's because the rollout RVR sensor is closest to the ocean. So that's very accurate. My last experience with low vis in LA was the same thing. The touchdown and midpoint were like 8 or 9 to 1,000 RVR. Rollout was 500 or less because it's just that marine layer getting thicker as you go closer to the ocean. Pretty neat. All right, let's talk really quick about the issues that I've been having with my current Brunner. The airplane with the Brunner will not fly on with the autopilot on. It has to do with either the yoke not being perfectly centered, or even when I shut off the force feedback mode, I kind of do my hack mode that I've done in some airplanes before. It still does not work. I have to completely turn off the Brunner software to use the autopilot with this airplane. I'm not sure if that's because their external flight model is not compatible with CLS to Sim. I don't know what it is. I just know that there might be a handful of you that have the Brunner yoke. Just be advised, as of right now, I have not found a workaround other than completely disconnecting the yoke when I want to turn the autopilot on. So just keep that in mind. It's unfortunate. I haven't ran into that yet. I've ran into issues with autopilot issues where I have to turn off the force feedback mode, or turn off the autopilot follow mode where the yoke stops moving with the autopilot, and that works. For most airplanes. I've never had a completely shut down CLS to sim. So, but that is my current workaround. The other issue that I have, and I think this is this is going to be for multiple people. Look at that ANA taking off. The throttles, there is no auto throttle lockout. So if you're familiar with PMDG, I think even Flight Factor's done this. Pretty much every Boeing airplane that I've flown in SimWorld has some type of auto throttle override. So when the auto throttle is on, if you move your throttle levers, nothing changes. You cannot do that yet in the iFLY. So if you have your auto throttle on and you have the slightest bit of noise at all, it'll snap your throttle lever to whatever your hardware position is, and then things start to get wonky. The only workaround I have is to disconnect my throttle quadrant when I turn the auto throttle on. So, unfortunately, gotta just turn the auto throttle off for me, because there's no way to minimize that. Now, I've even tried leaving it at idle or in a position where there's zero noise, and that's fine. But if I even so much as bump it or anything, then it tries to snap to that position, and things go haywire, especially on approach. If you're trying to do an auto land, this hosed me trying to do an auto land. The auto throttle was trying to go to idle, but the hardware, I had it left at Toga, because that's why I stopped touching it after we took off, and it kept trying to command thrust, and it got all wonky on me. So just keep that in mind. If your auto throttle is doing weird things, it might just be because you have a little noise in your lever, or you're moving it. So we may just fly with auto thrust off for the majority of this flight, but you'll see what I mean here in a little bit. The way PMDG does it, I really like, because you can see, like, it'll show you where your thrust lever position is, but it ignores the command. And I think compounding this problem is the speed at which these react. Like, look, I'm going to do a takeoff config check. You should be able to do that without the N1s moving.
Wind 2506, the runway 25 right RVR, rollout 5,000, midpoint and touchdown greater than 6,000, RNAV Docker, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
RNAV 25 right, RNAV Docker 25 right, clear for takeoff, American 357. Wouldn't a dead zone fix that? What do you mean, Chaos? Like, a dead zone where, though? Like, because there's no... It's not like in the... I mean, maybe. I have to see what you're talking about. I'd have to look at it. Because it doesn't matter where I put the thrust levers. In the settings, do a dead zone. You know, we could try that. Just add a small dead zone. I could try that. We'll get airborne, and we'll try that. Let's get out of the soup here first. But yeah, see, then you wouldn't want the dead zone when the autopilot is off, right? Because then you might, I don't know. I think that's a slippery slope when you start working with dead zones. But you might be right, man. I'll check it out.
Tower, good morning. Delta 2102 approaching Kobe for 24 right.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to the wheel here. You guys remember when I said I really hear that nose wheel on the groove runway when you make that 90 lineup? That is a wonderful job by Boris. That is an awesome rendition of that. All right. I love that groove runway sounds. Here we go. Let me change the camera angle over for you. So we are... Bruner mode is locked on. And let's go. Spool them up. All right, let's arm the auto throttle. Auto throttle is armed. You got to click it. And from in front of the engine, yoga. Ooh, baby. Apparently my nose wheel is not properly set up there. There we go. Inner not thrust set. I'm just hovering over my throttle levers. V1. Up we go. I was waiting for a rotate call there. Positive rate. You're up.
You're closer to 25 right.
Fly with.
24 left. I can give you
I gotta say, the hand flying
American 152
feels great. Absolutely. Wow, we're way under rotated there. The hand flying, the pitch is some of the best I've felt in Microsoft Flight Sim. It is the smoothest.
American 357 departure offline for change group.
Over to Unicom. Thanks for the HTC American 357. So, it's some of the smoothest flying flight model that I've felt in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is fantastic. There's S-Speed flaps 1. Look at my, so you see my throttles? I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the auto thrust. Auto thrust off. I'm going to set my own thrust command. Flaps are coming all the way up. Let's fly the flight directors. Get out of here. I mean, and this is, and with the Brunner, it's even, I mean, no one's complained even with the regular, like the TCA yoke, but I am telling you, chat, it is some of the best hand flying characteristics I've felt in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Absolutely epic, which makes me sad when I know my Brunner is not compatible with the autopilot. But I mean, just the sounds of the trim wheel, so awesome. I mean, this is exactly how I would imagine flying a 737 feels like. Ah, why are you closed? Oh, I didn't save it. That's right. Look at that shot. We're on at Unicom. We're going to continue to spin up our altitude. Let's go all the way to 340. I think there's a constraint, but let's do a level change to 34. Actually, no, let's see what happens. So we're going to leave the auto throttle off. I got manual throttle is set. Yeah, I forgot to click set on that. That's okay. I'll do it later. It's not too big of a deal. Look at that. Look at this livery. Look at that silky smooth knockdown of the park. I love that mismatched nose cone. That leap is really beautiful, isn't it, Canadian? I'd love to see some weather textures in the future. I think there's something with making clean wings, right, with Microsoft. I don't know if that's still a thing or not. But absolutely, the hand flying is out of this world. Let's do a little Maverick and Goose here. We'll do a little extra bank angle check to the left. See if we can avoid this buildup. Look at that. The sounds are next level. I think, Boris, I think this might be the best sounding thrust required. Check. I think this might be the best sounding sound pack you've done yet. I think this beats your fly-by-wire sound pack, dude. It seems, what's a good word? I don't want, cleaner? Is that a good word? I don't mean to say that your fly-by-wire sounds aren't clean. It's just, this just seems more refined, you know? I think this is Boris's best work he's ever done. It's out freaking standing. All right, I'm going to lower the nose just a hair here. We'll let it accelerate. Let's go ahead and get the rest of our lights off. Is it too loud? How is it for you guys? I got to flick these off. That's off. These go to off, off. That stays on. Wing light comes off. We're at a 10. We're not really on the SID. That's okay. We'll let the flight attendants know we're at 10,000 feet. We'll go up to 340. I'll tell you what. Let's give ourselves a direct anyway here. Let's go direct dots. Direct dots. Execute. Bank angle check to the left. Outside view. I love that beacon animation. It's like a different type of light. It looks awesome. Listen to that sound as you pan around. super high def. I mean, I'm so busy looking outside. We're all over the place, but this is a beautiful departure. We're going to stay on. Let's do a little Top Gun. We're going to split these two right here. We got no ATC online, so we're going to Top Gun ourselves right between these two buildups. Keep it nice and smooth. First class passengers won't spill their cocktails this morning. AC, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Time for some prophecy. V1 shall pilot a real-life 737 in the distant future. A natural Boeing pilot he shall be, loving the Max stream. Hey, AC, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. You know what? I don't know if it's in my future or not, but I got to hand it to you. If it flies anything, if the real airplane flies anything like this is flying right now, I 100% can see why Boeing pilots say they just love the way the airplane feels. You know, I talked to my buddy, a good friend of mine, Russ. He's on the Max, or he's on the 7.3 right now. He flies the Max too, and he was on the Airbus before. And I ask him every other day, I'm like, hey, you regret going to the Boeing yet? And he's like, yeah, the comforts of the Airbus are unrivaled, but just the connection to the airplane with the way it flies, he says, is pretty cool. So I can kind of start to understand that now that I'm seeing how this airplane hand flies and combining it up here with the Brunner. All right, 2902 STDs for you, me, and Boris. Are they synced? I don't remember if I said it. Yeah, they are synced. Okay, so we're synced up. Standards all the way around. We'll get back on course here. Looks like we're above most of the terrain. We're going to turn that off. We'll turn on weather radar. That's actually one thing I haven't checked out yet. Is there any like default weather or anything modeled? That's one thing I haven't dug into the manual yet. I don't think so. I think they're trying to wait for a realistic weather radar, right? All right, I'm going to turn things down now as we start our cruise climb. So the sim's coming down to about 50. How's that sound? Everybody still okay? Is it too quiet, or is that pretty bearable for our cruise climb here? We're just going to hand fly all the way up to RVSM, I think. Hot Shot with the $5 super chat, the legend himself. Really appreciate everything you say. The more sounds I do, the better they get. Really love this community. Hey, Hot Shot, guys, get some positive rates in chat for Hot Shot. Thank you so much, man, for the bank angle check, dude, of $5. Boris is just, I love seeing how Boris has progressed over the years, man, from his first freeware sound pack on the fly-by-wire to pursuing his real aviation career. Look how sharp that shadow is. Good night. Looks real. I mean, he's out there. He's going after his real-world pilot's license and doing sounds. Just awesome. Couldn't be more happy for you, man. Keep crushing it, dude. Keep crushing it. XP72 in the house with 5,500 months of support. My man, good to see you, dude. There you have it. V1 will find Boeing soon in real life. Oh, XP. Hey, look, man, if it means I still get a paycheck, then I'll do it. I'll do anything to keep flying. I won't turn it down, that's for sure. I tell you what, though. This would take some getting used to again. That would take some getting used to again. Slowly increasing here. I can trim down just a hair, but this is, I know it flies good with like the TCA Boeing yoke. I watched Blackbox 711 talk about that a little bit, but man, with the Brunner, and he actually flew it with the TCA yoke because he couldn't get the Brunner to work. And I agree, it will not work. The Brunner will not work. I'll show you what happens here in a minute. It's unfortunate. I don't know why, and I don't know if there's a way to work around it. I mean, honestly, disconnecting the yoke is not that big of a deal when the autopilot's on. It's really not. So it's not game-breaking by any means. It flies so well that it's just a mere inconvenience to me. You know, I just wanted to get that out there because I know there's a handful of you that have force feedback, and I just want you to be aware of it. That's all. Ironically, it does work with the Moza. You know, I was flying with the Moza side stick. It actually works fine. So it's got to be something with the CLS to sim. That's what it is. It's got to be something with the CLS to sim. AJ Finar, thank you for the $3 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Max, so easy to fly. Bus drivers can do it. Hey, AJ Finar, thanks for that $3 super chat, man. Appreciate you, AJ. I think AJ, I think this might convert you, my man. I think you might. I think X-Plane might go night for you after you pick this puppy up. Yeah, John, I agree with you, man. The sim today, this departure, y'all. I apologize for not being on the flight directors at all, but how beautiful was that? Look at that. As we start to leave the marine layer, you get some scattered fog, and then that eventually is all going to clear out. We're going to have clear skies all the way into Sky Harbor. Absolutely awesome. All right. I'm going to get us on speed and on heading, and then I'm going to show you we're going to have to set up our workarounds for flight. So I'm going to show you right now. Look at my thrust levers. Look at my throttles. I think this is a bigger issue than the Brunner not working natively, is the no auto throttle lockout. So everything is stable, right? There's no noise. I think I'm like 2% over on the right one, right? I'll try to bring it back just the tiniest bit. Okay, we're 0.1 off. That should be plenty fine, right? I'm going to engage the auto throttle. And now look. And that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but you can hear that, and it gets frustrating, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug and now I'll engage auto throttle, and everything is fine. All right, now I'll show you the next workaround that I have. Everything is stable in trim. We agree? Yes. I will engage Command A, and she does not want to do anything. I'll get CWIZ. It will not level. It will not follow the LNAV path. So let me disengage. Let me go VNAV on the flight directors. And now I'm going to completely disconnect the CLS to SIM. And not just disconnect. I have to actually stop the software from running, which is something I've never had to do before. All right, so it's all off. Now she's not engaging either. That's not good. Oh, I stopped it. Let me try that. Let me disconnect. Uh-oh. Alright, hold on here. We got a lot. Let me go back to full screen cam here real quick. JP, thanks for the 10 gifted subs, my man. I appreciate you. Very kind. Now, this is something I did not run into before. Autopilot is disengaged. Why can't we go command? Can we go command B? No. JP, thank you so much, man, for the 10 gifted subs, dude. I really appreciate you. Try command B. Nothing. Okay, that's interesting. Have not had that before. Let me go back here. Let's go control options. Let me go to... I think I have to put it on a regular bind, maybe. Let's see if this works. CLS 7.3 with the binding. And there we go. Okay, now it'll work. I think. Let's see. Does not appear to be working. Maybe? I've not had this issue yet. This is a new one. Uh-oh. Bank angles, they were muted. Let me unmute them for you. I just want to make sure. Okay, this is interesting. So that's interesting. I've not seen this before. Let me, I mean, I just want it. I don't even want the yoke engaged. So let's just go default with nothing. Command A, there we go. LNAV, VNAV, there we go. So I gotta have nothing on. That's normally, well, let me redirect it here. Let's go direct here, execute. Okay. Now she's back on it. So, yeah, that's weird. I've never had that before where I actually had to remove the profile from the settings menu. That is that's a steep bank angle there. That's a new one for me. But, workaround, everything's disconnected, and we are fine. So, I just throw that out there for you. What we can do now, too, is we can actually go, we'll declutter, and we'll put that over there, give us the big screen. Scroll the range out a little bit, like so. She might S-turn a minute here to get back on track. Let me catch up to what I've been missing. So I apologize for that. I don't know what was going on with that. A little bit of S-turn here, but we shall figure it out. I think we got her worked around. The Bravo works great with the Max. No, definitely. The Bravo works fine. It's nothing, you know, that's not a big deal for me. But it's more so that I have to remove my yoke completely from the settings. 80, I'm going to do a speed initiative here. Let's knock it back. Let's do that. I thought we were getting ready to hand fly all the way to Phoenix. We were getting ready. Everything's working fine now. We're all linked up. Dang, I gotta get this off. I gotta reset those settings. All right, Callie Simmer. What did Callie Simmer say back here?
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Did you hear what happened at Catalina on Tuesday?
Ah, yes.
5 people lost their lives.
Very
Can you discuss
unfortunate.
a bit about ADM, aeronautical decision making? Thanks.
What's that? Very unfortunate, Callie Simmer. Thank you for that $5 bank angle check. But yes, I actually don't know the details behind that crash. I just saw that this morning, actually. I saw a clip on YouTube about it. I have to look into that and see what happened. I don't know, was that like a C-fit? But that is very, very sad, unfortunately. You know, that at a Catalina Island, 5 people all lost their lives. Not good. There was also a Beech 99 that went down, too, from Airflight the last week. The pilot lost his life, too. So, happens in threes. Happens in threes. Be safe out there. RCAF Hunter. Welcome to Private Pilot. I'm glad I'm on board. Cat goes in the house. Good to see you. Wife gave me the okay to buy the whole sim setup PC, yoke, stick, and pedals in the works. Oh my goodness. Cat cow. That's awesome, man. Congrats, dude. You're going to love it, man. Make sure you post some pics once you're up and running. All the juice. All right, we're leveling off in cruise. Is the LAV study level? It is study level. We're going to do a full-blown LAV tour right now. Seatbelt sign is coming off. We're in cruise 340. Don't need terrain on anymore. I'm trying to think what else we could put on the ND. I feel like it looks blank. That's something to me. It's like there's so much space here. What do I fill it with? I mean, I don't need the vertical profile yet. Yeah. Talk about situational awareness. I don't know how you get lost with that thing. But let's do ourselves a little cabin tour, shall we? Blanco Lirio did you know what, Thrust said? I'll have to take a look at that Blanco Lirio video and then maybe we'll discuss it more. I think what we're going to do, y'all, is we're going to, after this stream, I'm going to install the Boris hotfix for the sounds. And then I will do a southwest hop at a Sky Harbor. We'll pick up at a Sky Harbor. We'll go somewhere juicy. And I will set up a stream for that shortly after this one. Hopefully we have time. But I really, really need those flap sounds in my life. I need those flap sounds. All right, let's head out into the cabin, chat. Actually, before we do, is the jump seat modeled? Of course it is. Hold on, let's close this door up. Oh, man, the clicking of that. This is a good refreshment on how to get in the jump seat. Look at this. Now this, if you think this looks comfy, it's definitely not comfortable. This bar right here is typically harder than this bar, and this bar sticks out further, and it's right in your back, and it's just not awesome. Your legs will be scrunched right here. I'm 6'1", and there's nowhere to put your legs. That is about accurate. Now what's really wild is the American 7.3s. I don't know if they're on the Maxes. They have a full-blown printer right here that prints this direction towards you, and there's a tear bar right here. And if your leg is jammed up against it, number one, you got to you're jamming up their paperwork, which they hate because it doesn't print and the printer gets jammed. You got to fix that. Or when they try to print off the 472,000 pages of paper that they go through per flight, because they operate in 1930, they're constantly tearing the paper off right up against your shins, and it's just not the most comfortable situation to be in. I actually had a captain I think he was trying to discourage me from getting on the jump seat. I was going LaGuardia to Dallas, wintertime. Winds were howling. I think it was blocked at 4:45, almost, or I think that flight time was like 4:45. Block was over 5, just because the winds were howling and the route and the weather and everything. And last seat in the house, he's like, "You sure? You sure you want to sit up here? It was a long flight." I'm like, man, if it gets me home, he's like, "Are you sure though? I mean, it's a long one. It's a long one." Like, yeah. And then he just kind of turned and went back to doing his thing. So I assume that was a subtle, do you really want to do this, dude? Situation. Yeah, Randy, I normally tear it for them. But then the problem with tearing it for them is this angle is very hard to tear the paper. At least I haven't mastered it yet. I don't commute so much anymore. But when I was commuting, my tear skills were not up to par. So when I would go to tear it, I'd either rip part of the part that they needed to see, or I would rip, or I would like jam it up and it wouldn't rip properly, and just I felt worse. One time the F was like, "Just let me do it." I'm like, "Okay, I'm trying to help here, man. I'm trying to help." But yeah, not a cool spot at all. You can also crush your phone in here. So I had my wallet in here one time, and I had my phone on top of my wallet, and I went to stow the seat and pretty much cracked the screen to my iPhone. So that was not cool. But all right, how do we stow this? So you click down there, fold it up. Cool. There we go. All right, we're out of the cockpit. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Let's go ahead and look at this cabin here. So I'm surprised these don't open up. I know everything is modeled in here. It's pretty wild. All right, where's the fat panel? I feel like I'm clicking through to the... Watch, I'm like clicking through to the cockpit. I know I can turn this on. Maybe not. I know it can be turned on. Oh, before we do this, I need to bind. I need to fix the. We get rid of that anyway. We need to go to miscellaneous, and open and set. Done. I don't want those sun visors down. All right. Top left and bottom right. Ooh, that's the code. Oh, look. We got some widget pilot uniforms in here. So why is the shirt on the hanger? What's the FO wearing if his shirt is on the hanger? There's some funny business going on in here. This is for your coat. Why is the shirt in here? Suspect. Fly Navy? Fly Navy's probably flying this thing. He flies around. Fly Navy he flies with a hat and no shirt. So don't tell him I told you that. But I would suspect that's who's there. Backup shirt. Man, I've been in the airline business a long time. I had never seen a backup shirt hanging on that that rack. Ah. Boarding music, load status, cabin announcements. Display brightness. Huh. Cabin. I know you can like dim the lights and stuff, but oh well. That's cool. You can fiddle with it. Everything here is modeled, which is insane. I looked at the, you know, some people were saying, well, I wish you could have a no cabin option and save some frames. But I guess iFLY looked into that, and they said that it was the gain was negligible for having the cabin removed, and then that causes other issues down the line with liveries. So that is why at least at this moment. Oh, look at this. We even got the American 737-921 revision. Get maxed. What? That's awesome. That is so cool. That's so cool. I wonder if that's part of Silicon. Why are we in a very steep bank angle? Okay, I just get nervous when the airplane starts doing big banks and stuff without me up there. All right, let's continue on. That's a cool animation. I think that's the first time I've seen this animation right here. That's pretty dang cool. No passenger crumbs on the floor, trash in the backseat pockets. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the 5 FPS hit if somebody can make a livery with just like absolutely trashed cabin floors. You know? That would be more realistic. The last class tray tables don't work. That's discrimination. Uninstalling. Only first class gets working tray tables. Unacceptable. Uninstalling. Here we are over the wing. Let's open up. Does the emergency exit work? Okay, no, it doesn't. I was going to say, could you imagine if you pulled this out? Peasants don't get tray tables. All right, let's do the overhead bin. Yep, they work. It'd be a cool feature if it had the Fly Navy landing mod. You know what the Fly Navy landing mod is? In real life, if you land super hard, sometimes you'll pop the overhead bins. And I mean, you got to land hard for it to happen. I've seen it happen. Personally, I have not done it. I haven't done it in the Airbus, but I've seen it done in the Airbus. I've seen it done in the 737. This is the Fly Navy landing mod. So they should like code something to where if you land above a certain G load, half the things open up above you. That would be pretty cool. Smart Tech, well, probably Pop, man. Glad to have you out there. All tray table works. It's an EFB option. Oh, really? Are you kidding? Are you serious? It's an EFB option, Jeff, to get all of the tray tables to work? That's wild. Now GSX is going to add actual bags for the overhead. A-Rot, you're going to have actual bags and actual people. That's crazy. That's just crazy. All right, here we go, chat. We all know what's coming next. Brace yourselves. Actually, before we get in here, let's close that real quick because Mr. Saturday's here. I want to say, Mr. Saturday, your trailer video of the Max, one of my favorite shots, dude, was so cool. When you were looking at the cabin and it was like unfocused and then it focused in on the seat number here with the dimming of like small detail like that, man. Awesome. If you guys haven't seen Mr. Saturday's Max trailer video, it's hyphy, dude. That was a really cool shot, man. I just thought I'd shout that out because I saw that. All right, here we go. You got to go. Here we go. Inside the lab. Way too clean. What is this, Delta? It's way too clean for an American 737. All right. Soap doesn't work. Can't wash my hands. It's unacceptable. Well, we even have the little air vents up here. Wait, that's a reflection. Hold on. Oh my gosh, that's a particle sensor. Hold up. And it's placarded. Federal law provides for a penalty. Why would they provide a penalty? Is that right? Federal law provides for a penalty of up to $500 for tampering with the smoke detector installed in this lavatory. Yeah, this is a particle sensor. If you vape in here, it will send it off too. So stop vaping in the daggone lavs, people. Okay, because it sets off the lav smoke, and it gives us a heart attack up front when we're just trying to eat a stale crew meal. All right? Stop vaping in the lavs. All right, let's do the important things here. I have 3 kids. Can I change their diapers? Wait. Well, I'm not opening the door, am I? I think I was trying to open the rear door. Let's not do that. No, I can't change their diapers. Unacceptable. Can I take a poop? Oh, wait a second. Do I have to flick it with the mouse wheel? Hey, all right. I can't lift the seat up. Women aren't going to be happy about that. Not flushable. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 on the lavatory. 5 out of 10. Pretty well modeled, though. Pretty well modeled. I give it a 5 out of 10. The seat can get lifted up. Oh my gosh, it can. There was an extra click spot. Are you kidding me? Okay, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 on the lav. No Barbie doll. Someone make a Barbie doll mod, please. If you guys remember the story of the Barbie doll in the aft lav, forward lav, someone make a livery with a Barbie doll in the lavatory, please. Just like wedged in there. Then just fill this in with brown and just the legs hanging out. All right, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 on the lavatory. Very cool. Now Boris, spoiler alert, Boris said to check this after I install his special sound file fix. So be looking for that. Right now I give it a 7 out of 10. The real question is, what did A-Rod say, if we can lock it from what? From the outside? Oh, will it show locked? I can't lock it. Latch door. I can't lock it. Ah! Yeah, I can't lock it. It doesn't show in use. 6.5 out of 10. 6.5. 6.5 on the lavatories. That's pretty good though. You know, my lavatory ratings are very, very hard to come by. Most lavatories in the sim rarely get above a 3 out of 10. So for this to be a 6.5 out of 10, that's actually pretty well done on iFLY's part. Check out the stop bar on the cabin doors. The stop bar? You mean like the GURP bar? Wow, look at that. I got the GURP bar down here. I'm not going to click any of this. How to blow a slide 101. We're not going to do that in flight anyway. Interesting. JJ Stevens, thanks for the $5 super chat. On the lower screen, click the top left, then top right. If don't, come on, it's bugged. All right, let me check. Let's make our way. We did the walk of shame. We did our walk of shame. Let's go back to the front here. Thanks, JJ, for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you. It's not armed. You can arm it. You can arm. Hold on. Let me check the forward ones. Let me check the forward ones. You're telling me that door's not armed? The GURP bar, and it's not armed. Maybe it's because I clicked it on the... Let me see. Hold on. You want me to click on the GURP bar? Okay, if I blow the door off, I'm blaming you. Who says to do this? Where's his name? Dylan Kahita. If I click this and the door blows off, you're banned. Oh, shoot. Look at that. Is there a doors page? Oh, man, we need to decelerate. Okay, let's just do this. We've got too much to look at here. I'm going to do this. We're going to level change down to 19 thou. And we're going to do a speed at 270. MCP, LNAV, MCP speed. We're slowing down and we're just level changing down. We got more to look at here. No doors page in the 7.3. Really? There's no... Okay, so but that's on the overhead, right? It would show armed up here, right? Or it would show open. Wait, so you can't tell if they're armed or not from the cockpit? Doors page, good God, no. Well, how do you know if it's armed or not? So you can see that it's closed. You cannot tell that they're armed. Wow. That is new to me. That is new to me. Now, this is an 800, so it's not going to have the blowout door in the back, unfortunately. But that's very cool. Let me check the screen here, make sure it's not bugged. JJ said to click the left and right. And then I also missed a super chat from Devil Dog. Does PMDG finally have a competitor in the Boeing world? Love watching your streams. Hey, man, appreciate the 18 months support. Absolutely love it. I definitely think there is some competition. Unfortunately, though, right now there's a few things that for me that are just it's kind of annoying. Like there's no auto throttle lockout. I think that's got to be a must. If you have any noise whatsoever in your thrust levers, it's going to cause issues. Going to cause fluttering in the N1s, and I don't know why. I'm a very small problem here of the Brunner, but I've never flown an airplane in Microsoft Flight Sim where I have to completely disable the Brunner and remove the profile from the settings menu for it to follow the autopilot. On the PMDG, it works completely through and through. I can simulate hydraulic pressures and everything, so it's definitely a competitor, but just a couple of refining things, and then I think it's going to be right up there. It has the potential to be the best. Definitely has the potential. All right, on the lower screen, click top left, then top right. Ah, there we go. Thanks, man. So let's set up for takeoff and landing. Or off. Oh, I'm clicking something through there, I think. Entry off. What? Oh, that's cool. You can clean the screen. Alright. That's wild. Let's pay attention, see if we can actually do something here with some semblance of realism on this approach. Set it tonight for the cabin lights. Oh, it has to be nighttime for the cabin lights to work? Maybe our next stream will do sunset. How about that? You can be both a pilot and a flight attendant. Yes, Christy. Absolutely. This airplane allows you to be a pilot and a flight attendant. Pretty wild. Excuse me, I gotta sneeze. All right. Thank you, Mr. Saturday. All right, we are high on profile. What we're going to do here is I'm going to take over command. Now, here's another issue. If I just plug in the throttles, I will lose both generators. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to pause the sim by doing that. Now I'm going to plug in my throttle quadrant. All right. And hopefully everything is working fine. There we go. And throttles go up there. I'm going to bring it back to idle. And we're just going to deal with it. So no auto throttle lockout. That's got to be a must-have. Come on, iFLY. We got to get that figured out. We got to have an auto throttle lockout. You can see at idle, they seem to be working just fine. But that's because I have my hardware position at idle as well. If we level off, they're going to be fighting to get back to idle. Definitely not normal. Oh, you asked me, why is it in the Fenix I hit my TOD makes me descend like 5,000 to hit a constraint? Brian, that's probably because you're within the limit of like how far off you are, and it will try to dive down and make it. So the real airplane will do that to an extent. 5,000 feet a minute is a little excessive. I've definitely seen 4,000 and maybe a little bit more than 4,000. And trying to pitch over like when that vertical deviation is just below where it needs to be. Some airplanes are better than others. FMS2 is almost the worst, where it just does not care about speed and just nose over and go catch it. So yeah, it's you just have to descend earlier. If you descend earlier, make sure you descend no later than 5 prior. Do 10. Do 10 prior, manage descent, and it'll start down at 1,000 feet per minute. Start at 10. Sunset second leg, yes. Sunset second leg, we're coming down. We're setting up for the Fenix informations here. We're going to land flaps 40 because it's juice. All right, it's going to be harder, but flaps 40 looks better. I tell you what. Yeah, flaps 40. I was going to do flaps 30, but that's lame. Flaps 40, 138, 111.75, and 078. We'll set our courses. Lucas, thank you for the 5 rupee donation now. Appreciate you. Says, imagine the shock on my face being a diehard 737 driver since the FSX days and learning the Airbus for the first time. It has a doors page? Yes. I could imagine the shock. Yeah, I'm actually surprised there's no doors page. Man. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me when I think about it, but I would think the Max, I would think that the Max would have a doors page. I mean, you've got all this screen room. Let's put our VSD on, and let's load it up with terrain on ND. We'll do all the frame killing things. We'll put terrain on this side big. We got engines on our side. That looks good. 078. We need to dial in 111.75. We'll go to ILS 111.75. Now, Surely this will auto-tune, right? Am I doing an extra step here? Surely that would auto-tune. 111.75, 078 approach course. The minimums, let's see if we can pull out some terminal charts. Let's go back to the menu. Nope. Back. Airport search. Yeah, this is, if Boeing were to make an EFB, this is 100% what it would look like. How do I figure, like, the approach chart? Chart utilities? Airport charts. Yeah, Steven, it's exactly. It's like what my kids had. The clunky one. HMD Devil Dog. Oh, we need to keep descending. Level change 11,000. Down we go. We're getting below profile, but that's fine because I want to hand fly it anyway. Edit clip is what I need. Okay. HMD Devil Dog, thanks for the $5 super chat. The doors page is the FA's eyeballs. That is funny, man. Thanks for that $5 super chat. Yes, her or his eyes will definitely get large when they are not armed. All right, here we go. Wow, this is a pain. Whoa. Hieroglyphics here. Eagle, these are all Eagle. I don't want these. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hieroglyphics IQ test. This is like the old interviews. They used to make you do stuff like this. All right, hold on. Let's figure out how do we get to the next page. I love how page up goes backwards. Am I the only one that thinks that? Page down should bring me to 5. This is Boeing if I've ever seen it. All right, we don't want the arrivals. We want the ILS 8. Thank God we found it. All right, complete ILS 8. It's a concussion test. Oh my gosh, Lone Star, that's funny, dude. And that is why God created the iPad, Diabetic Lad. Hey, look, I commend iFly's work on making that because that is a pain in the butt, and they did a good job at representing a pain in the butt for sure. All right, Magic Barrel Ref. Standards are off. Magic Barrel Ref is 2999. We're set once, twice, and 3 times. We're synced up. We got our course set. We're 270 on the speed. We're descending to 11,000. We're below profile. That looks good. Lucas has given us a super chat. Thanks for the $5. Man, appreciate you. Fun fact, the 737 has voice-activated commands for the doors. Cabin crew, all doors in park. There you go. There you go. I think this is what the 7.8 and 7.777 default EFBs look like. Interesting. Adrian, thanks for the 2-month support. Did you see United's new routes? No, I did not. All right, we got some funny business here on our approach. I'll tell you what, let's go to the legs and step through this. It has us coming back. Let's go direct to HKID. I should clean it up. There we go. Direct HKID to 6,000. There we go. Looking good, chat. We are looking good. We should be on below on the altimeter, or on the altimeter, on this thing. Transponder. Flick you down. Nobody's online. We're on Unicom. I can't, can't use my radio because my yoke is completely turned off. We'll wait till we get to 10,000, then we'll hand fly it in. Jep FD Pro is on top. Where? Don't know FD Pro in here. I wish. I kind of wish there was an option to have it like a standard EFB, but it's asking a lot. There's a one pilot plan in Europe by 2027. Never heard of that, but it doesn't surprise me. I always said it. I've been saying it for years. I said the first country to start doing one single pilot is going to be Europe. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. There should always be two crew up there. Didn't a Turkish 737 captain just pass away in flight too? It's not a good thing, y'all. Alright, let's set speed 250 knots. I'll stow the speed brakes. And then I'm going to set 6,000. And down we go. Sounds are coming up. Was it a 350 captain? I'm not sure. I think it was a 350 captain. There was 3 of them. Oh, reduce crew. Hey, I knew it. That's what they're going to do. Reduce crew for long haul. So they'll have one pilot on the long haul instead of having a relief crew. Yeah, I knew that exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to reduce the relief crews, so you can do a 15-hour trans-globe flight, 15 hours with 2 people. Just have one guy up there, one guy sleeping. Bad idea overall. Bad idea. Lucas, thanks for another $5 super chat. Do you have the official? Do you have an office space just for streams? No, it's just for V1 Nation, man. Just for V1 Nation. I started this channel 5 years ago with a fiber connection, which was fantastic. The channel took off. I love doing it. You guys loved interacting. And then I moved out to the sticks. And my only option to continue it was get an office or give up the channel. So I decided to get an office. But that's why, I mean, it's so much hard. Like, if I had the sim at my own house, you know, that'd be so much easier to make more content or do late night streams or do long hauls. I mean, add 2 hours for pre-flight, post-flight, setting up of the next stream, and travel time to any stream I do. Just add 2 hours. So take that chunk of time out of my day every time I do a stream. It adds up, man. All right, 7 for 6. We're catching up to it. Now for the fun part, let's reconnect the yoke, and we are going to be hand flying. Let me make sure. Let me get G's up and running first. All right, G's is coming up. All right, G's is up and running, and we're in tiller cam, live cam. Swarm, yes. Right before we moved, I got fiber too at the last house. Go figure, right? Go figure. All right, let's reconnect this yoke, and we're going to have to hand fly pretty much all the way in. So what's I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect first. And if I don't change the profile, I wonder what's going to happen. See, I've just connected. Now watch what happens. It's going to blow right through this altitude. See that? I got to take command. See that? It just doesn't want to. The autopilot would just not do autopilot things. I don't understand why. It's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. Alright. Well, we should have been at 6. Let's go down to 5 now that we blew through that. And our speed is engaged, but look at my auto throttles. Look at the auto throttle. You see that? It's trying to bring the power up, but because my hardware is at idle, it's like, nope, not going to do it. So I will disengage auto throttle, manual throttles. Let's go ahead and hit the approach. Right slope. VOR Loke is on. Gosh, I almost said Vorlock. Like Mentor Pilot. Alright, we do need to set a speed though. What was our ref speed, chat? 138, call it 143, right? Well, we need to start slowing down now. We need to start slowing down now. And replay. We're going to try to do another sector. I'm going to actually set it up as a separate stream with the Boris audio fix. Unless you guys just want to wait. If you just want to wait in the be right back menu. Yeah, we got to go gear down, man. We are cooking in here. Let's go flight directors off because, well, we'll leave them on. It's Boeing. Give me FPV though. Gear's coming down. Trying to get down first. Flight directors off, bird mode. Let's do it. I like that better anyway, honestly. Flight directors, bird, 230.
25.
I don't know if we're going to slow down here. I'm going to come down to 3 and then level for a minute. We should be able to catch up to this. It's going to be tight, chat. This is going to be tight. All right, there's 3. Let's go ahead and level off here briefly. Power's at idle, brakes are out. This will be a hell of a replay. Flaps 5. There she comes. Trimming it out. Now we're looking good. Look at that. Arm U, speed brake is armed. Flaps 40 coming in. VREF 143, power in there. Like a boss, man. It's similar. I wonder if the Max is similar to how the Neo in the Airbus is. You can slow it down easier than a CEO because that big N1 fan out there. I imagine the same is true with these leaps on the 7.3s. But I don't know. The CFM is pretty fat too that they use on the 7.3. Check the wing view. Yeah, that looks good. But see, it needs more dirt. You know what I'm saying? Too clean. Too clean on the flaps. I think that'll be a livery thing. Look, you made me check the wing view. Now we're a dot high. Correcting. All right, let's focus on this landing. Our first 7.3 Max landing on stream. We're flaps 40, gear down. Auto brakes are off. We'll use manual brakes so you can hear the wonderful deceleration. Let me juice up the sim sound. Flight deck Simpson, the Max is more slippery than the NG. Wow. All right, so the Airbus, the opposite is true. The Neo, much easier to control speed, especially low level. That's the exact opposite. That's cool to know. There's some little thermals here. Not quite in the trim that I want to be in. There she is. Ooh. Is it hot already?
300.
It's actually a little bit bumpier of a arrival than I expected this morning.
200.
All right, don't Airbus flare. Don't Airbus flare.
100.
A little fast, correcting.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close.
10.
Hold. The attitude. Floated for butter. Oh, come on, give me the butter. Butter. Oh. Spoilers. First screen. My rudder does not appear to be working very well. We'll roll it down here. Not too shabby. Not too shabby for our first one. Alright, we'll take the next one so we go straight to the ramp. Listen to this. I love that sound. Yeah, a bit off center line. So my rudders apparently aren't bound. You see that? Rudders are not bound. That's why we were not on center line. That was a rudderless landing. That was a rudderless landing, chat. I will take that for a rudderless landing. So I had that because I was messing with the nose wheel steering axis. That's another thing that I found is if you separate axes to have nose wheel tiller and your rudders are still bound, the rudders will override the tiller still. So that is why I was messing around. That's a user error, though. I should have just flipped that back. All right, we'll take it over here to, what's this? I love this little scenery here at Phoenix Sky Harbor. I don't know how it's going to handle a replay mode. We're going to just leave it running. I've never attempted a replay with it. Let's see how the replay looks. We'll take Bravo 12 here. Forgot my view's not bound for that either. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's cheating on the parking view. That's fine. So because of I can't bind that. Oh no. See, look, I went to drone mode, and now gens are offline, engine fails. Dang it. See that? That's got to be fixed. Or that's a... I don't think that's a binding issue, because I've never in my life had that before. Brakes are set. Engines are coming back up. So, you could see, for me, I've had my fair share of little hiccups. Skill issue, Bruner issue. Nah, that's not a Bruner issue. That, I mean, unless drone, let's check. Let's check the settings. So what I use for drone is insert, right? Is there an insert command that is electrical? Because if so, that's new. Let's check it out. Where am I? What am I doing here? Let's go back. Controls options. Let's go insert here on keyboard. It's very possible it's a binding issue. Search by input. Insert. No, but it has increase heading bug. Let's go ahead and clear that. We don't need that anyway. Increase, we don't need that. Oh, that's a... I tell you what, no, disregard. Because that's a combination binding. That's a combination binding. And I've seen this on the bug forum before. So yeah, toggle drone, that's all it does. But for me, toggle drone on the iFLY will kill the gens. So, all right, let's take a look at that replay though. Flaps are down, flights are on. Let's disconnect from Aveo Premium. Let's give it a shot here. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to need to put this back so I see, like, the binding. I've never... It's just, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time resetting all kinds of bindings. Let's go back to 737, apply, go back, resume. Shouldn't make a difference in the... Alright. Replays are bugged in this plane? Really? How so? Let's find out. So we left the engines running and full flaps out. Let's see. Let's go to replay cam 2, full screen here. The Max, Lucas, I missed your chat there, read on final. The Max actually deploys auto spoilers because it's so slippery and needs more drag to stay on path. Really? Auto spoilers? Just like on descent? That's interesting. Something to double check, is everything blank through your iFLY plugin? Oh, the companion app does override the sim. You're absolutely right in Sim Saturday. So if you're unfamiliar, I'm going to stop sail right now. When you get this airplane, you have to launch, it will automatically launch the iFLY plug-in. Let's look at key assignments. Let me see if anything is bound. That's a great point, Mr. Saturday. I'm scrolling through it right now. And I do not have anything bound for insert. I thought you were onto something there. Yeah. Don't have anything. But that's a good check. Alright, what's going on here with the auto thrust? It's trying to do the it's trying to match my throttle levers. That's pretty cool. So it actually, in the replay, if you look at the N1s, it's trying to match what I actually did on that approach. That's very cool for seeing how your power settings were on approach, pitch and power. So if I disconnect my throttles, I should be able to see exactly what I was doing. There you go. So my throttles are disconnected. And we should see how I pitch and power on the way down. Oh, here comes Bank One Ballpark off the left. Let's check this out. The second stream, John, we're going to leave. We're going to leave Phoenix, and we're going to go somewhere on Southwest, most likely. Two blue, one red gang. Midway. Oh, that might be too far. Fun fact, the CFM 56 320 CEO have a fan diameter of 68, the max of 69. Really? So it's even slippier than the max, yeah. Interesting, Kyle. What about the IAEs? Chase Field, there you go. It feels great on approach. Oh, look at that. I mean, I gotta say, the way it hand flies is spectacular. It's just really unfortunate about the Bruder situation, because it hand flies really well. Let's see how we did. First max landing ever on stream, my second landing ever in this airplane. Almost completely buttered it. That G says 115 on that one. Now I have no rudder bound, that's why we were off center line. No rudder bound there. These are differential brakes. Ooh, Jackson Hole, John. You know what, Jackson Hole is, we haven't been there in a long time. Let me go here. Now this ought to be interesting. I wonder what would happen in drone cam if I stay in drone cam during replay. Let's watch this. This ought to be pretty cool. Turn that on. Let's juice up. I mean, it's Phoenix. It's clearing a million at worst possible time. To a sunset-esque approach. There we go. Watch this. I still Airbus flared? A little bit. Let's see. Right there, yeah, I was Airbus flaring. I was check closing a little too early. But right there, that's where I need to start my flare. Where I did that second flare, is where I need to do my initial flare, huh? It's a low rider, AA, Ron, you're right. Yeah, so right. Back it up so we can see that touchdown on the forward view. Gotta fly the 7.2 as a warm-up. There you go. I gotta say, I never liked those wing tips before. I actually kind of like them now. If this was your first landing in real life on the Max, your captain would be very proud. Hey! Yeah, see right there. See, that was where I started too early. I need to start my flare there. I was about 3 feet too early. But I think we settled her down nicely. We settled down nicely. You know what's cool about this shot is this is a testament to the flight model here. I want you to watch what happens, and I'm gonna play this through. So most airplanes, if you do this little early flare, depending on the flight model, they may just go full balloon bananas mode, right? And you'll drift down the whole runway. Watch how nice it settles right back down. See, there's my early flare. Just relax that back pressure, and she settles right back down to a normal landing attitude. And we set her on at 115. Hey, I'll take that. I will take that all day and twice on Sunday. All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to get lunch. So I'm going to set up a second stream. right after this, and I'm going to have a sound fix. We're waiting on, so iFLY is working on another update, but Boris has sent me some audio files that give me flap sounds and a couple other things. So I will do another leg this afternoon. Make sure you come back and check it out, because that's the main, let's be real, I want to hear those flap sounds. The best flap sounds possibly in the sim. So, Tom H., I like the model, man. I do. Like I said, in my experience, everybody's experience has been different. I think I'm one of the few early access content creators that's been having these sort of bugs. Like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the hardware I use. I use a lot of advanced hardware. So it's just part of the game, right? You got to work around, wait for fixes and whatnot. So it's really not, I'm not trying to be negative. It's just I want those that have similar hardware to me to be aware of what's going on and the workarounds. But I definitely think this airplane has the potential to be the number 173. I mean, it's got a lot going for it. It's got a hell of a sound pack. The model is great. The cockpit's great. Texturing overall is great. Flaps need a little work, in my opinion, here. Just a little more juice. I think this could be a livery thing, you know, get lots of grime on there, make it look real juicy. But I think it's got the potential, man. This airplane has serious potential. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I'm thankful for iFLY for sending it out early, and I can't wait to see what this airplane becomes. Thank you all for tuning in on this first stream. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the bank angle checks, even though I probably ignored a few in there. I'm a terrible content creator. There's more professional people available. If you did donate or I missed it or never saw milestone chat, I apologize. Thank you nevertheless for your support, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a good one. See ya!